My name's Robert. I'm going to be going over the use of Enterprise Alert with the Power BI to create some reports and dashboards for your systems. So I know you guys are probably familiar with Power BI as general. Power BI is a super powerful tool that allows you to create reports and dashboards off of multiple different endpoints, such as SQL databases or even websites up and down, and any other kind of access databases, anything that you can have it to connect to. So what we did here is we hooked our Power BI into our actual SQL database for Enterprise Alert. And what this allows us to do is this gives us a dashboard showing live data. And this allows you to monitor live data showing your reports and your alerts coming in, and allows you to see if there's problem areas in a faster and more efficient manner. With this up, let's say you could put this up on a machine in the middle of your factory floor or even in the maybe IT ops floor. So then they have these dashboards showing on their screens, and they'll be able to quickly notice patterns on incoming alerts. So they'll see that they're getting a lot of tickets coming in saying that Outlook is down or something along those lines. That allows you to quickly monitor it, which allows you to get faster on the ball to get it up and running again for these issues. We're using this to help enhance the ability to get the right data to your right users at the right time and create customized reports and dashboards. It allows you to create it, and you will show exactly what you need to see for your users, both front end, back end, however you want to create the report, because it allows you to create one that's internal only so that your backend can access it, but you can also create one that's a web page that you can throw out there for end users to be able to access. So what we're going to do next here is I'm actually going to show you the dashboard that I created, and we'll take a look at that, and I'll show you afterwards how I created those. So here you'll see this is the dashboard that we have. And I've got 9 quick reports up here just to give us a quick showing of what's going on inside of our systems. And Power BI allows you to, gives you multiple options for connecting to your databases. You can do a live query or a managed query or just a snapshot of your databases. And what these do is they're going to put different levels of strain on your system depending on which option you choose. Obviously, if it's a live query, it's going to put more strain because it's going to constantly be reading the databases and looking for changes. So what we did here is I actually did a snapshot because our systems aren't always up. And so when I send an alert, which I'll go ahead and do here real quick, and we'll see this come through inside of our enterprise alert. There we go. So I see a new alert coming through there. Now, if I go back to my dashboard, it's not going to update live for me because I didn't choose the live option. However, if I quickly refresh my databases over here, which you can also put on a scheduled refresh for you if you do this snapshot, so it'll refresh at the same time throughout the day, and then come back over to my actual report and I do a refresh on this side, we'll actually see my numbers change here. So we see became a new alert, active numbers changing. So we see exactly what's going on with our data and how our users are using the system and where all my events are coming from or my alerts are going out to for those alerts. Now, one of the nice things with this is, let's say I want a little bit more detail on one thing or another. So if I come down here and under my alert destinations, I click on the email option. That's actually going to filter the rest of my reports to show me, okay, so I see PKC over here is getting 46 of his alerts, which is 16% by email, and that Robert's getting 9% of his, but all of my alerts are going through to the team by email. And I can do the same thing with push or even select a specific user. And that's going to show me that it's kind of minuscule down there, the numbers, but they'll show in there sometimes. If I choose the PKC, he's got more numbers there. It actually highlights exactly where we're at. And we'll see that it's not just these pie charts, but my number of alerts in the last couple of days or month, as well as alerts by source or even alerts by policies. So if I click on the user again, that kind of clears the filter and we go back to where we were. So what we chose to showcase here is the ability to see how many alerts have been coming in and the set timeframes, as well as we wanted to see how our teams are being alerted, which team is being alerted, and then what users are being alerted. And I think more importantly for one is how our users are being alerted. Are they getting emails? Are they using voice calls, SMS? Because these are the items that actually cost us money when they use them. So we want to know if everybody's using SMS or everybody's using voice calls so we can push one of the other options forward to be the top of the notification profiles if need be. And that's kind of what we get with this alert destination by users, as well as down here at the bottom, we got all of the alerts sent via the notification channels. So we're getting a lot of push on iPhone down here, but a lot of Twilio and SMS messages in there. In addition to that, we try to show where the alerts are coming from. So we want to know which systems are sending alerts into Enterprise Alert. So we kind of did a count of alerts by our source down here. So we have our ServiceNow, Dynatrace, and we see which ones are sending our event sends, so we know which teams are using Enterprise Alert most effectively, because more often than not, your ServiceNow is going to be for one team and then a Dynatrace for another team, or SCOM if it was in there for a third team. That allows you to see where your alerts are coming from. And then our last report down here in the bottom corner is the count of alert policies triggered by the event. So we know exactly which policies are being alerted on. So this allows us to see if we have one policy that's being alerted on everything, maybe we need to change the policy a little bit to narrow it down the scope so it's only getting alerted when we want it to be alerted, because we don't want 400 alerts coming through if not all of them are beneficial. What I have here is, let me shoot back over to my PowerPoint, and I have how we created all of our reports. So the first three reports are all roughly the same. I just chose different time periods for them. And one of the great things about Power BI is it allows you to choose a rolling time period. So what I did is I chose the rolling 24 hours, 14 days, and 30 days. And this allows you to set whatever time frames best benefit you, so you can see how many alerts are coming through in your set time. And for this particular report, what we used is we used the alert details table and then the ID column underneath of that to make sure we're only seeing each alert once. My next report we did was the alert count by team. So we're showing how many alerts each team got throughout. And this one doesn't actually have a time period. You can put a time period on it if you prefer. This one for us is just throughout the entire database. Our numbers were low enough to do that. Most of you guys probably have a lot more alerts in there, so you might want to put a time period of 30 days or whichever benefit your system the best. And for this one, what we chose was the tickets table. And then we choose the destination column because that's going to show us which team is getting the alert. And then my next one up there is the alert count by users. This is the same as the teams, with the exception of we're specifically going to users versus teams. And we'll notice that it's actually choosing a different table here. We use the ticket messages table and the prof name for the column to actually filter out exactly which users are getting, for the profile names, are getting the alerts. My next one up is the alert destination. So this one's going to show us how our users are being alerted. So this informs us where's all our money going. So we have the ticket messages table and then the sending medium column. This sending medium is actually the medium that's receiving the alert from Enterprise Alert. So it shows you which options we're using to send those alerts to your users. Our next one up down there is the count of alerts sent via all notification channels. And for this one, we're specifically going to the outbound, and we're using the service to column. The service to column is the service where we're sending the alerts out to. It's very similar to the last report, with the exception of this one is not just user specific, this is everything. So if multiple alerts are going to multiple users, and if we have persistent notifications on, so they're getting alerted until they answer, we're going to see those numbers continuously climb. My next one up would be the alerts by source. And for this, we're again using the tickets table, but this time we're going to use the source service column. And this is going to be each and every event that comes in has the source service, and this is going to count those up and show us exactly where all of our events are coming from again. And then our last but not least down here is the alert policies that are being triggered. So for this, we use the tickets table again, but this time we use the triggered rule column for which rules/policies are being triggered by the incoming events. Thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.